And welcome back into another episode of Dime Piece and Parlays.
Let's get straight to it, bro.
Let's get right to it.
Let's get right.
The Chiefs defeat the 49ers in the Super Bowl 25-22. Final overtime. We were crushed here. Like, I had a $500 bet there on the Niners that just all I needed was the Niners that got chalked. But
yeah,
I know you guys want to talk about it because, Sweat, you were literally living by, like, every throw that Purdy made. You were on the edge of your seat. You were locked in. Talk to me. What do you think about your boy? What do you think of the whole game? Just break it down, your reaction.
I think it was a great game.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying that. I think it was a really good game. I think the game was competitive. You showcased a lot of great defense. You showcased a lot of, clutch throws and clutch catches. The refs didn't dick anybody. Feel me? So overall, I think it was a pretty good game. It was well matched. It was well matched. I mean, and honestly, bro, just the better team won. I felt like Brock Purdy had a lot of opportunities to close the door on the Chiefs. He was up 10. One more score would have put the pressure really on them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he just couldn't. He couldn't find the opportunity and execute. So, if you don't cut the head off the snake, he's gonna keep coming. He's gonna keep coming. And Patrick Mahomes, bro, he does it again. Don't bet against him. I don't know what more I can say.
We should have learned.
Yeah, we should have learned from last year.
Steve, you were right. Talk to me. You didn't want the Chiefs, but you're right. I'll give you that one.
I don't want to glaze Patrick Mahomes right now. I really don't. I mean, we expected this kind of game out of him. I mean, I'm not going to take his flowers away. It's impressive considering the fact that he's going against a team full of elite players.
Yeah.
Players like Deebo Samuel, players like Christian McCaffrey, players like Brandon Ayuk. It's like, and it wasn't only them. It was their defense too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
100%.
I think you got to give the flowers to the defense because, they stopped a couple plays there in the second half. They didn't look so bright in the first half, and they came back and they really started to hold the ball down on the line, in that second half, which
Chris Jones,
is huge. Chris Jones,
They need to pay that man.
Yeah.
They need to pay that man.
I mean, they had him for
Get
ransom.
that man a
game
new
one.
contract.
Facts.
Remember game one, they had him for ransom upstairs.
They had the two Sopranos right next to him.
Facts.
Bada bing, bada boom. But
yeah, I mean, I think we all expected that out of Patrick, regardless of what the media wanted or, what kind of entertainment purposes were behind the game. And, there's a couple things that I seen during the game and I see people talking about after the game that I feel like, were definitely unfair. That first down that they had when Mahomes ran it right past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. 3-yard
game.
3-yard game. 2nd and 7, and it goes to first down.
Stuff like that. But
what?
Then again, and then also in OT, just the way. I mean, it was completely new rules.
Yeah, the Niners didn't even know the rules. Like, how do you go into a game as a coach?
Do you believe
so they lose a possession on the ball.
Well, yeah, they would have possibly gave the Chiefs the ball. If you're going to get it, you kind of would want to go last and then possibly set up that 2-point conversion. But that's a great point because that's not a good look to be just saying that after the game. Like, that just like makes you look not the greatest.
It goes to show how much they want to protect Patty, bro. They literally changed the rules because of him.
That was with the Chiefs and the Bills a couple of years ago.
Exactly. He didn't get an opportunity to get back on the field, and they're like, we can't let that happen.
And
that's when you know it's forced down the fans' throat. Pause.
I think for what
Sway with the cold take, with the warm take.
Sway with the warm take. But I would say to Steve's point, I think like if you're gonna give the Chiefs the flowers this postseason, you look at just like all the fiascos with the media attention off the field. You look at just how many passes were dropped, the frustration the whole regular season, and then in the playoffs, they go and beat the Dolphins. They go on the road and they beat the Bills. Then they go on the road and they beat the Ravens. And then against the Niners, down 10 like they always do in the Super Bowls before, they come back and do it. That's 3 Super Bowls in 5 years on Mahomes. He went for 333. The guy looks untouchable. We're making comparisons to Brady. Not saying he's there yet, but he's also at the same point of Brady's career where he won 3. Mahomes is right there with
at the age of 28, correct?
At the age of 28 years old.
Yeah.
And that's the 4th Super Bowl for the Chiefs. They got a lot of good things coming because not only like Kelsey had 90 yards in that game, but Kelsey was kind of quiet, and they found a way to win without Kelsey really balling out,
Bro,
and
he
having
was
a touchdown.
sharing the wealth. Check this out.
Yeah, talk to me, Steve.
He wasn't sharing the wealth. He was beating on his coach.
Yeah, facts.
No.
That was crazy,
Patrick
too.
Mahomes was sharing the wealth.
Oh, for sure.
Fact.
He was sharing the wealth.
But that's what he does,
Travis
though.
Kelce had 9 receptions for 93 yards. That's 10 yards a reception.
Right there.
McCole Hardman had 3 receptions for 57 yards.
Facts.
Justin Watson, 3 receptions for 54 yards. Rashee Rice, 6 receptions for 39 yards.
Just listen
Isaiah
to who he's
Pacheco,
naming.
6 receptions for 33 yards. Noah Gray, 2 receptions for 22 yards. Not that many yards, but for 2 receptions, I'll take 10 yards of reception any day. That's another
Exactly.
first. That's 2 first downs.
Exactly.
Marquez Valdez, 3 receptions, 20 yards.
Facts.
Jerick McKinnon, 2 receptions,
Facts.
15 yards.
Yeah.
Like, he was sharing the wealth as he had to. He couldn't have just relied on Kelce that whole
No.
game. Yeah, he's a great player. Yeah, he's his best receiver. Yeah, he's a big body. But he wasn't going to win a Super Bowl with just Mahomes and he did just Mahomes and Kelce. He did a great job of sharing the wealth
Facts.
with the ball. I think Brock Purdy had to rely on Christian McCaffrey as he has this whole season. If you're going to credit anybody for it being a good game, and I'm talking to you, Sway,
Here we go.
Talk your shit.
give the flowers to Christian McCaffrey every time. I don't want to hear Brock Purdy's name again.
Why not?
Please, not even next season. He
Wow.
won't even get to the postseason next season.
Wow.
You're crazy.
Can we get
bro.
that on a bet?
Did he have a bad game?
Did he have a bad game? I
No.
wouldn't say it was a good game.
He just, he marched down.
Was it a good game?
He marched down. He put his team in position to win the game, and
The fuck did he march? 12 yards?
it don't matter.
Mahomes
bro.
had 66. That's what a quarterback does when
I
you
mean,
need a quarterback to do it in a Super Bowl game.
333 with 2 touchdowns. And all the
333.
all the receivers you just named, that's what also that got me. They are nobodies.
Nobodies.
Rashad Rice is maybe the only one that you could see coming in. I'm just saying
don't
that
Pacheco's a dog.
That is insane.
Pacheco's
Pacheco's a dog.
But he
Shout
was
out
getting
Pacheco.
shut down the first
Facts,
half.
he did. And McCaffrey, for what it's worth, the Chiefs, to your defense credit, they forced McCaffrey to fumble the ball. That never happens. But he comes
and
back.
he still put 80 on their head top,
He's a
receiving
dog.
and rushing.
He's a dog, McCaffrey.
I think they just went away from the running game at the wrong time.
Facts.
I think they started early. They got in rhythm. It was working. And now let's put Brock Purdy
They
to
were
throw the
shutting it
ball.
down, though. They
Who?
were shutting it down.
Who was shutting
The
it down?
Chiefs were shutting that run game down. Like I said, their defense in the second half got a lot better. They switched. They switched
I don't
a
think
couple
they
things
shut
up.
it down. I think the 49ers just went away from it.
I mean, you can't shut McCaffrey down.
Exactly,
You know what
so-
I'm saying. But they definitely limited him to only a certain amount of yards to the point where Brock Purdy had
3 yards a carry.
had to
You
make
see-
some passes, which I will give it to you. Brock Purdy did make a couple nice passes. I will give it to you. But it's like
you see how you
he
mentioned
couldn't rely on McCaffrey the whole second half like he did the first half.
you see how you mentioned that Mahomes couldn't just solely survive with him and
Kelsey.
I'm pretty sure that's what the 49ers were thinking also. Listen, we can't beat him down. We can't give him 40 rushings,
40 carries.
40 carries. It's tough, bro. You gotta, like you said, you gotta spread
Of course,
the wealth.
but he
and I think
also
that's what they
has-
were trying to do. I think they put Purdy in a position to throw the ball. He made some good plays, but when he had to execute, he didn't execute.
He
And I can
also,
see
he had, bro. I mean, how are you not throwing the ball? I mean, I get it. McCaffrey's a dog. He deserves MVP. I don't care what anybody
Guy
says,
was
with or
going
without a
through
Super
war.
Bowl
That was
ring.
crazy. I
He
know.
deserves an MVP, an MVP. Excuse me. My gosh. But you have, like I said, Brandon Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, Deebo Samuel, Chris Conley.
for
You
sure.
have
They got-
all these
they got-
people. You're even passing to Christian McCaffrey for receptions.
They did.
You know
I
what
think
mean? So it's
I think injury did hurt the Niners with Debo with the hammy. Also Greenlaw stepping on the
yeah.
field,
Facts.
tearing the Achilles just like that. That was tough breaks.
Just coming off the field, he was ready to run on the field and pop. He looked just like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I think you're right.
It was still besides all the antics and all the side bullshit, it was a great game.
Yeah, it was. It started slow though, for sure.
But that's just football. When you're on the edge of your seat, all right, are they gonna score this drive? They need to score this drive. No, they get a stop.
Yeah.
Right? And then San Fran gets a stop right after they were stopped. So it was on edge the whole
There was
throughout
a
the whole
fourth,
game.
yeah, they had a
Even
fourth
into
and one to stop
overtime.
the game.
It was a great game, bro. Clearly the better team won. Clearly the better quarterback won.
The
What-
better
what-
coaching staff won. You can't.
Ah,
I mean, Andy Reid.
yes.
You got to give flowers to
Nah.
Andy Reid. I'm sorry,
listen-
Philly. We fumbled the bag with Andy
Yes, we
Reid.
did.
He was always great to us.
Yeah, y'all stupid. Y'all let him go for Chip Kelly. What did Chip Kelly do for
And
you?
also,
But that's a different conversation.
Steve
for another
Spagnuolo
day.
also. Steve Spagnuolo also.
Yeah,
Like, just,
Spagnuolo,
exactly.
yeah, he's a defensive fucking
Both
genius.
great play callers,
Yeah.
bro. And that matters in a Super Bowl
Bingo.
game, in any game,
Bingo.
especially
Yep.
a postseason game
Yes.
or a Super Bowl game. And
Absolutely.
honestly, it not only has Patrick Mahomes, and I hate saying this, I really do. I'm not a hater. Not only has Patrick Mahomes proved to the world that you can't bet against him, but Andy
Facts.
Reid has done that over and over and over again with them, making Mahomes only a better player.
He's leveled up since he's gotten to the Chiefs, where a lot of the times when they came out Andy Reid in Philly, it was more the criticism for not getting to that next level.
Yeah.
You give him with Mahomes, and you're 100% right about the play call, when to blitz, when to go into man. You talk so much about the Chiefs defense. I was going to ask you, Sway. So if Purdy played pretty good, right? Good game, you would say. Where do you put the blame on? Would you put it on the coaching staff? Because it seems like we were talking about not knowing the rules in overtime. Maybe they should have ran the ball. Do you put it on Shanahan?
I don't believe that they didn't know that. Like, how do you? I mean,
How
it was
do you
only
not know that?
I know, but to say
I mean,
right after
it
the
was
game?
it was the second time that has ever happened in NFL history where Super Bowl has gone into overtime. I think that was the second time it happened.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure they wasn't expecting that, but I'm pretty sure someone knew. Someone in the coaching staff knew, like, all right, there's new rules implemented.
Yeah,
These are the rules.
You have to know that
But your
kind
whole
of
team
stuff.
not to know,
Bro, in a
If
Super
you don't
Bowl
know
game,
if you don't know that, either you blame yourself or you blame
Facts.
the staff.
Facts. That's very true, because you're also a player. You could just read the rules.
This
know
is
what I
the
mean?
most
Like, you're in
important-
the fucking Super Bowl here.
It's the most important game
Yeah.
of your fucking life.
Yeah.
You got to
100%.
know everything.
it
from
takes
beginning to
teams
end.
generations to get to that point.
Facts.
Yeah.
But I would say
Look
I
at
think
Detroit.
I
Yeah.
think to you ask who you could blame. I just personally believe that the offensive coordinator, when he had the opportunity to put the Chiefs away, he kept giving them air,
Yeah.
bro.
They didn't bury
They're-
it. You
they're
said
like
it too
this.
during the game.
They still have air to breathe.
Yeah.
You got to choke them out and put them out.
Mm.
You was up 10.
Facts. They
A
were
touchdown,
hot too. Yeah, they came
a
out swinging.
touchdown changes the game.
Yeah.
But
A
then
field
again,
goal changes the game.
and I said this before the game. I said this to both of you.
Mhm.
We know how well the Chiefs do in the second half.
Correct.
They're
Yeah,
for sure.
always down in the
Yeah.
first half, and they
Yep.
find a way to switch things up,
Yep.
make something happen in the second half.
Did-
It always happens,
Yep.
bro.
I have a question. Did they score on the last drive right before half?
The 49ers or the
No,
Chiefs?
the Chiefs had the last drive going into the half. And then I'm like, yo, if they score here, they could put the 49ers away because they would score here, come back at half with the ball,
No, they
score.
didn't.
I believe
I think the
I think they had a
49ers got.
field goal, but then they didn't score right before halftime. They gave the ball back to the Niners, and then they just kind of kneeled it. But
Yeah. So that
You
was,
are
you got to
right.
give credit to the defense of the 49ers as well because they played a tremendous game.
They did.
First half was lights out. Second half, they had a little
Injuries.
hiccup there.
Yeah,
They
injuries
lost
hurt.
somebody. But
the only person you really have to pressure is Kelsey and Mahomes, bro. Like, how can your defense not have a good game?
But then you see, this is why you get me.
There's
mad, bro.
nobody's
'Cause
on that
you-
team. Pacheco,
you-
yeah, they shut Pacheco down,
He
but
was
it's
just-
not. He's not
you
Christian
was-
McCaffrey.
Bro, you was just glazing everybody that he threw the ball to.
No,
Pass
I
it
was
well.
glazing Mahomes
All right, but everybody
because he got
ate.
the ball to nobody.
Everybody ate. Those are not nobodies, bro.
Okay,
Well-
okay, they're not the 49ers, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get the ball to them. He could barely get to the ball to Travis Kelsey 5 weeks before last game when he couldn't catch a single ball. Nobody
So-
on the team could catch a ball
That's
for
true.
Almost half the season.
whole
What are you
season.
telling me that
The
they're
whole
not?
I
season.
get that.
Like-
I get that. But you can't say, he spread the wealth and everybody was eating, and then in the same breath say
Because he's a
he's throwing to
dime.
nobodies.
He's
Well,
a dime.
I mean, I could be-
That's what the quarterback does. He puts the ball in the basket. As long as you put the ball in the basket.
So speaking of breadbasket, let's talk about Purdy.
Yeah. So your man over here likes to say, because for the last 3 weeks,
Okay.
last 3 weeks,
Ask a question.
the last 3 weeks, the last 4 weeks, you've been saying, oh, Brock Purdy gets all his yards because he dumps it off and all the receivers just run for all those yards that he gets, right? But you're sitting here giving Patty Mahomes the same credit. Oh, just put it in the breadbasket. In the breadbasket. So if Brock Purdy continues to put the ball in the breadbasket, whether it's a 5-yard dump off, a 10-yard dump off, and the results keep resulting, how do you discredit him every single week?
You're giving it to the best player in the league. He had 160 yards up the field. He averaged 10.
No.
Yeah,
That's rushing. That's
that's
rushing.
not
We're talking
rushing.
about throwing the ball.
That's rushing and receiving.
No.
That's
no.
receiving yards as well.
All purpose.
We're talking about throwing the ball in the breadbasket. You don't hand the ball off to the breadbasket, right?
You're throwing a 10-yard, 5-yard pass to Christian McCaffrey, who runs it up
Yo,
the field.
stop glazing him, bro. There's
Nothing else you could
Jesus
do. He's the
Christ.
best player in the league. He deserves MVP this
Jesus
year.
Christ.
I don't care if he got a ring
so
or
the
not.
whole year-
He's the best player in the league. There's no debating that. Debate me on that, and then we could talk. But until Brock Purdy is on a team without Christian McCaffrey, without straight elite players, because those are elite players. They're not great players. They're elite. When he's on a team without elite players like Mahomes is, then you could talk to me. He is not a great quarterback. Take it easy with the great take.
So you can't win with great players?
He doesn't even put the ball in the
I'm
basket.
answer the question. Can you win with great players?
You should win with great players.
Okay, then. So
then
everybody
why
on the
did he not
everybody
win?
on the Chiefs is great. Those are great players, bro.
That doesn't make them great players. Mahomes makes them great players. It makes them better players, not great players. He makes them better players because he gets the ball in the basket. And as a quarterback, being the main position on the team, the facilitating position on the team, you need to be able to facilitate the ball. You need to be able to have that tunnel vision, to see your players, to find your players, and to get the ball to his chest.
I think like,
if you can't do that, how do you expect your receiver to ever have a chance at being great?
I mean, there was definitely a couple throws that Purdy made that we talked about. One low to Debo, one that could have got away from Ayuk. I think he did play a good game. You know what I mean? Like
he played a very
he had a better
conservative
quarterback
game.
rating than Lamar Jackson, than Josh Allen. He had a better rating against Mahomes than they did. So like, I think he did have a good game. It wasn't
enough.
It wasn't enough. I don't know if the blame falls all on him. I would probably
Absolutely
put that
not.
more on the offensive coordinator, even Shanahan, because of a lot of, with the players not understanding the rules and just really just not putting the game away when they should have. But, where would you put Purdy? Would you put him top 10 in the league?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Yes.
I know you would. Would you put him
have to.
top 10, or are you still thinking that if you brought maybe Jared Goff to the Niners, Purdy is not coming close to what Goff would do? Is that where you're kind of netting out like on this?
I think that they would do just as well as each other. You wouldn't really see too much of a difference.
Huh.
Here's the thing. How many times was Brock Purdy sacked in the Super Bowl?
Not many.
Not many. I mean, Jones tried to get to him. They got some pressure, but
how many more rushing yards do you think he could have gotten? That would have changed the game.
he did. How many rushing yards did he end with? It wasn't
12.
much. Yeah, it wasn't much.
He had 12.
I would say. But
that stuff like
I get that.
There's small things, but they matter. They make you a great quarterback. When your offense is being completely locked down and you have nowhere to go, instead of throwing the ball away, seeing a gap and being able to get an extra 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, sometimes even 15 yards to get that first down and move the play upfield, move that pin that Sway always talks about. That's what makes you a great quarterback.
do you think also
He did that in the NFC
He
Championship.
did that one
do you
game
think-
in the whole season.
but then what-
Mahomes just had 66
And that got him-
rushing yards
and that
in
got-
the Super Bowl.
And that got him into the Super Bowl.
You
That
know-
got him into the big dance. So therefore, that was a clutch performance by him. He did what he had to do in a specific time. He got it done.
And
he just didn't get it done in the Super Bowl. So you just
He didn't get it done
erase
any
everything.
game in the season.
Huh?
He didn't get it done any game in the season. It was one game that he ran for that many yards.
Okay, that was the most important game of his fucking career at the moment.
No, the Super Bowl was the most important game of his fucking career.
In the
Sway.
NFC, everything broke down and he got mobile and he started to run and put himself in a situation where he can win a football game and go to the Super Bowl.
But you have to be able to do that consistently to be able to be called a good not a good quarterback, a great quarterback. And that's my argument with you. It's not that he's not a good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. He's just not a great quarterback.
That's terrible, bro.
His team makes him so much better. Like I said,
so
you
because
had 160 yards from one player on both rushing and receiving. Now, does he have to throw the ball? Yes, every quarterback has to throw the ball. But when you have players that have way better hands than the Chiefs offense, what do you expect? You need to be able to throw the ball. I'm surprised he didn't go for 350 receiving yards.
If you put Mahomes
only
on the,
250.
if you put Mahomes on the Niners, they're winning a Super Bowl every year.
Every year,
on the Chiefs,
they're undefeated. They're gonna have an undefeated.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah, I get that. Like the comparison, like if you would
All
have.
this,
But
if
I mean, 2023,
so okay,
bro, respect.
2024.
2024. Oh snap! Yo.
But
See?
I would say, like, would you
just
guys? So would you guys? I think you probably would give. Would you give him a max contract, Purdy? Stay
Absolutely.
with the Niners.
Yes.
So who do you think the Niners then should go after if it's not Purdy, from your estimation?
Who's on
What
the table?
quarterback wouldn't want to play for that team?
First of all, they don't have any high draft picks. They're in the Super Bowl. So if they get a pick, it's either going to be 30 or 29.
They do have to bring back a
You're
lot
not
of
getting
guys.
an elite quarterback that's going to change your franchise at that pick.
I'm not
right?
saying that he doesn't have a chance.
No
to be
one
great.
has been able to take his
don't,
position.
Don't say that, though, because Purdy was drafted last in the draft, though.
All right.
I understand what you're saying.
Listen.
Usually you don't think like that, but
Sam Darnold was drafted top 10.
Oh, we're talking about
First round, right?
yeah.
He hasn't been able to take the job away from Purdy, right?
No, he has not.
Okay, then. So, therefore, why would you look for something else? He gets the job done, bro.
The only comparison that I think I feel like it really started when Purdy had the rough game against the Ravens there on Christmas, and then Sam Darnold came in and took him down the field twice and cut the lead from like 17 down to like 6. And it was like, wait a minute, is it Purdy doing this, or is it anybody could kind of play this role?
It's just a different look.
Before Purdy, you had Garoppolo, and Garoppolo's a good quarterback, but injuries have kind of prevented him from not throwing the ball past like 25 yards. Ask any Raiders fan. But that's where I would say, like, then who would you replace Purdy? I don't know. He got him the Super Bowl. I would keep him. I'd give him the max contract just because.
Why would you replace him? He got you.
The only thing is, like, they didn't get across the hump, and that's the consistent thing for all the Niners fans out there.
Lamar hasn't got over the hump. Josh Allen hasn't got over the hump. Do you just say
Lamar
scratch
also
it?
doesn't have the offense that you guys have. I'm not even going to say you guys because you're not a 49ers fan, no matter how much you glaze Brock Purdy, but he doesn't have that offense, bro. If you put Lamar on the 49ers, like,
oh shit, that's dangerous.
Stop, bro. Just
dangerous.
Stop it. Knock it off. Knock it off right now.
But I understand, like, we're not gonna ever have
you're
that.
Literally
I get it. I get it.
You're gonna sit here and say you could put Lamar over there.
You're the one who said it.
No, you just said you could put Lamar on the 49ers and they'll win a Super Bowl.
You just brought
Lamar is on a Super Bowl team. That team was constructed to win a Super Bowl, and he didn't get the job done.
That team was the 49ers.
Fuck, what are we talking about,
So
bro?
hold on, we may have a great offseason debate here. We may have
Come
a
on,
Lamar
bro.
Jackson, Brock Purdy take. You think Brock Purdy?
What?
Do you think he's better than Lamar Jackson? Brock
Absolutely not.
Purdy? Okay. I thought he was gonna say absolutely.
Okay,
not
so
smart.
let me ask you a
I
question.
had-
So
yeah.
let me ask you a question. You absolute glazer. Take Brock Purdy and put him on the Chiefs. What are they? Are they still winning the Super Bowl?
What?
No, they don't even
Take
make the
Brock
playoffs.
Purdy and put him on the Chiefs.
They
Are
don't.
they still winning the Super Bowl
They don't
since
make
he's
the
a great
playoffs.
quarterback?
They don't make the playoffs.
I don't know.
They're not winning a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy.
don't
Sway,
know.
and you know that. That's
Yeah,
why you're
that's
saying
not
I don't know.
happening.
You say I don't know to things that you
I
genuinely
don't know, bro.
Yeah, but he was in the position and
In
he
the
got him
sports-
there. And
In the
like,
sports world, we can't use the word if.
yeah.
You got to play the cards that's dealt to you, bro.
Okay, so
He
You gotta-
couldn't even win with the best offense in the league. You're telling me you don't know if he could win with one of the worst offenses in the league? Look at the receivers, bro. He doesn't have a McCaffrey. He doesn't have a healthy Debo. He didn't have a healthy Debo in the Super Bowl. I'll give you that.
A lot of
He doesn't
injuries.
have a Brandon Ayuk. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, what is he just going to hand the ball to Pacheco and expect the same thing he would out of McCaffrey? No. McCaffrey single-handedly carried this team to the Super Bowl, and I won't get over it. That is my final take on it.
That goes
Brock
back
Purdy
to
would not take the Chiefs and give them a ring.
It
Final
is
take
as
from
simple.
Sway.
It is as simple as this. Brock Purdy is a great quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is an elite quarterback, and there's levels to this shit, and that's just where
Okay,
it ends,
so
bro.
so you're telling me that elite
Elite
is higher
play-
than great.
Elite players, when they're brought to a team,
Oh,
they're made favorites to
Guys.
win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets, and their stock went up 1,000%.
That's true.
Why? Because he's an elite quarterback.
Okay.
Right? LeBron James, he went to the Lakers.
Yep.
He won him a chip. Why? Because he's an elite fucking basketball player.
Fact.
There's a lot of great athletes. You know why they're great? Because there's only about 1,000 NFL players in the whole fucking world. So you can't say they're not great or they're bums. They're playing at the highest level at a sport in the world. So we could joke around and say, oh, he's a bum or he don't do this. He's still a great football player. You're playing at the highest level possible, right?
Yeah. I definitely.
So you're great.
So, but
elite is a different level. Elite is a list of 10 to 15, 20
Look
players.
at the way you say elite and then the way you say great. You don't even notice you do it, but you say elite like it's a normal word, and you say great. You're a great player. You're a great person. You're a legendary person. Not you're an elite.
Stop
person.
adding.
Like, get out of here, bro.
I just
add
gave you
emphasis on
I just
elite.
gave you
You
two.
add emphasis on great because great is under legendary. Great is the road that you are running on before you are one of the most memorable
Okay,
people in
Gandhi,
history.
get to your fucking point.
You're one of the most memorable people in history.
All right, so
which makes you legendary.
You're
You're never forgotten.
We're gonna talk about great. We're gonna talk about legendary.
Bro, it makes no sense.
I think Patrick Mahomes is all these things.
He's elite.
So he's elite. He's great. He's legendary.
Oh my
Great.
God.
How many?
I'm about to walk off,
I need a
bro.
number.
I can't do it.
Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl wins in a 5-year span, and obviously the one that he didn't get was against Tampa. How many does he end his career with? Obviously the Chiefs are at 4. Mahomes is at 3. How many does he end up with?
I say he three-peats next year.
Okay.
He loses for 2 years.
That'd
They gotta rebuild. They
That'd
gotta
be
get some new
crazy.
pieces.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're gonna run into free agency problems,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're not gonna be able to sign everybody. So he probably go 2-3 years where he's competing, but he doesn't get there,
Yeah.
and then he has another 3-year run where he can win 3 more.
Wow.
So we could say 3 to 5.
So you think he could possibly get like 6 to 8?
Nah, I'll say 6 max.
Okay. So not 5 then. Just
I think
So-
he could get 5 for sure.
okay. I see what you're
6
saying.
is just enough to keep.
So 3 more rings from this point. Yeah.
They just
Okay.
want the comparison between him and Brady to linger around for the next 10 years. They
And that's
want
what I was gonna say.
they want that GOAT talk.
Yeah.
6 is just enough for you to have that conversations between kind of like with basketball with
LeBron.
Jordan and LeBron,
Yeah.
like the old heads versus the new schoolers,
Yeah.
and how the
Yeah, for
leagues
sure.
compare and
Yeah.
how they were. You know what I mean? It keeps room in the conversation there. So
It definitely does.
I don't know. It does make sense. I like your take on that. I think it's just gonna depend on what they decide to do,
Yeah.
who they decide to add to the team.
Yep.
That can affect you a lot. I
Yeah.
think Andy Reid is a great coach. I know you said
Yeah.
when we talked about this before about how long he's gonna be
Yeah.
there, and
Kelsey.
what's
Can you read this?
Kelsey,
Yeah.
what's gonna happen?
And that will answer the question. I
What's
didn't mean
gonna
to cut you off.
happen without Andy Reid or
Travis Kelce, yeah.
like.
And then
So-
how does he do with like a new coach and a whole new offense?
He's an elite quarterback. It don't matter, bro. Like that's what I keep referring back to. Like
All right, so
when you're elite, bro, you change shit around you. It don't matter what coach I have. It don't matter what wide receiver I have. I'm gonna get the job done. I'm that nice.
so Webster's
So why
dictionary
didn't-
here.
So what would you call
From
Tyreek
Swag.
Hill?
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is an elite wide receiver. He's the best wide receiver
So-
in the league today.
So it shouldn't matter what his team about his team around him.
Did you not see what he did with the Dolphins? The Dolphins fucking stank for the last 20 years, bro. When was the last time they made the playoffs, bro?
Why didn't
Last
they?
year.
Oh.
This year.
Why didn't
With
they win
who?
why didn't they win a championship?
Huh?
Why didn't they win a Super Bowl if he's so elite?
Because they're not ready. Wait, just
Let
because
me-
you don't
let
win
me-
a chip
let me-
doesn't mean you're not elite, bro.
Let
That
me
makes
add
no
context
sense.
from
Those
your
are things that add to greatness, which is above elite. I'm not even gonna argue it anymore.
You got the Webster's dictionary here. We
Read
got
that for
a
me.
select group that is superior in terms of ability or qualities to the rest of the group or society.
So
Okay.
therefore, you're in a different level than
I like that.
anybody
Now
else.
look up the Webster dictionary.
Yeah,
Great.
Can we get that? So
Yeah,
how
can we
many
get that?
how many do you think he ends up right now? Mahomes is at 3.
He's
Just the
gonna
final
pull
number.
up fucking Wikipedia for this. Like,
Answer the
we know.
question.
What do you think? 5 or 6 he gets to?
I'm gonna have to agree with Sway on that.
You think he gets to 6?
I think 6 leaves just enough room in there for conversation.
One
between,
short of Brady.
Yeah.
But he ends up, if he gets 6 and he stays with the Chiefs, which I'm going to say he will, from I think the team that drafted him at
until he
10,
retires.
he'll stay with the Chiefs, retire with the
I can
Chiefs,
see
which
that.
would give the Chiefs 7, which is the most of any franchise in the NFL. They're at
That's not
4.
happening.
But I would, honestly, I was thinking 6 earlier, but I'm going to say 5. I still think it's still a grueling task to do what they did, and I think we're going to really appreciate this in a couple of years. But when you talk about possibly Andy Reid getting older, how many more years could he do it, right? We talked about How many more years can Kelsey do it now with the media publicity that he has with Swift?
He don't need them.
You have Mahomes that's going to be more questions. And you look at how long it was with Brady. He got 3 and then had to wait a decade.
What did Brady do?
Well, he had to wait a decade
Brady
to get his
said,
next one.
I'm going over there, and I'm going to win. It don't matter who's over there.
Yeah. But
that's what elite players do, bro.
But even if Mahomes doesn't do that, I still think, though, like, I think he gets 5. I think, when you look at the NFL and how much it changes and how, injury could be a factor, like, he did have that leg injury last year, like, in the postseason that affected him. I know it really didn't maybe in the end, but.
Can we get that?
I think he goes 5.
I want to see that.
Oh,
you want to
see the definition?
Yeah,
Let's get the Webster's dictionary.
Don't ignore it. Look, he's putting the
it's
phone
very
away.
bland.
Look at it.
Read it.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Steve, let me
Great.
Let me hear it, Steve. Talk to me.
Anyways, bro.
Great or elite? We wanna hear everybody's reaction. So
I think.
Let us know in the comments.
Yo, Jaren, what you think? Would you rather be great, or would you rather be elite?
I'd rather be known as being elite.
Ooh.
See?
There's our production team. Shout out G. In
The
back.
definition explained it itself.
I'm probably great.
Yeah, you are great.
I don't think they're wrong. I think either one is probably just the perspective of
Beyond
which one you look at it.
Great. Beyond what is ordinary or usual, highly unusual or exceptional or remarkable.
My definition was.
I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you for saying that about me. I appreciate that. But I like it. Something else that we liked, real quick. I want to touch on this with the game, and maybe it was great. Maybe it was elite. I don't know. What do you guys think? Usher's halftime performance. Let's talk about that. What do we think about that?
That was a fire, bro.
You liked it?
Yeah. At first, it was a little
Yes.
dry to me. I'm
Right.
like, why is he on the grass? And they got all the feathers and all that extra
Bro.
shit. But
Gas.
once Alicia Keys came out,
Hey,
it was over, bro. Like, he turned it up. And then they had Little John in the fucking crowd going crazy.
Yeah.
He brought Atlanta out. That's why I thought it was fire. Like, and he makes you remember all the bangers that he had, bro.
Facts.
2016, 2020 type shit.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
not
Even
2020.
way before there.
that,
Like, yeah.
way
2005.
Early 2000s,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I mean, he
Yeah.
has a longevity span for a while, Usher. Like, he has a lot of great music, a lot of features, a lot of different artists that have collabed with him.
When he did the.
Yeah, I know.
He got
That was
crazy.
funny.
I've seen a meme and they were like,
He brought
they're
back
like
the
when
U-chain.
you're my way on my way out the house, making sure I have my wallet, my keys, my
Yeah.
phone.
Facts.
It's a-
Facts.
He
Facts.
brought back the U-chain, bro. That shit's mad
did.
old, bro.
So I know there was like, I guess, some conversation with like when
Yeah,
Alicia
nobody's
Keys-
touching my lady like
Alicia
that.
Keys
I
like
don't
was
know.
performing. He kind of got a little close. Now she is married to Swiss Beats. They got kids. If you were Swiss Beats, would you be tight? Like, he kind of was just like, nah, like both of them are great, and like played it off. Actually, like a lot of people were like, well,
I think it's
like,
different for him because
What do you
That's
think?
part of the act. That's part of the performance. It's a halftime Super Bowl show that everybody strives to make.
nah,
that great.
Usher looked too happy doing that.
I feel like that was
Yeah,
off.
who
I thought that
wouldn't?
was off
I mean,
rip.
She's literally drop dead gorgeous.
But if
like-
you were a Swiss Beat, would you be tight if you saw your girl on the screen and then Usher
Any
out
man,
there? Like,
of course you would feel at least some type of way.
he didn't
and if
have
you
any
don't-
type of way though.
I
At least
mean,
the one
he's
he
gonna
said.
say that just to make her look good and take the fucking fire off of Usher. But any man is gonna feel some type of way. You may not show it, you may not say, but like, you getting a little too close, or why you smiling like that? Why my girl look so happy like that? Feel me? So, of course, it's gonna hit you
Yeah.
if you choose not to say how you really feel and go the public route.
So you think he's capping, Sway?
He's
I
gonna-
call him out,
tomorrow-
Sway.
Of course.
Tomorrow he's gonna be like,
No,
So-
shout out Swiss Beats.
so
though.
who
He's
you thinking about?
fucking
You think about Usher
incredible
right now?
producer.
Because I'm pretty
You think
sure.
about-
I'm
go on a
pretty
date
sure.
with Usher, go on a date with Usher then. Go get some.
It's like they hop in the car to go down the road for dinner, and he just like plays.
Yeah.
Oh
Just
my
imagine.
god!
Yeah.
Yeah, he just does that. Yeah.
Just
I'ma
imagine.
let the beat roll.
That would
Just
be,
imagine
that
Lil
would be-
Kim just like groping him if he was performing. Alicia
Mm.
Keys gonna be like, yo, she getting a little too close. Like,
I don't know. I think it's all a part of the act when you're an
yeah,
artist.
you gotta
when
understand the
you're-
business
It's
aspect
like
of
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
when you're an actress or an actor in a movie. Like
Yeah.
you might have to kiss somebody that's part of the role. You know what I mean? Like, what are you
Facts.
gonna turn down the money? Like, no, you're. That's a part of your job that comes with dating somebody.
There's
like
a professionalism too as well, but
That's a fact.
we'll let the fans think. Like, let us know in the comments what you thought, if that crossed the line or
NFL is over, baby.
Usher was just having a good time. But yeah, NFL is over.
You know what that means, right?
What are we looking forward to, Sway?
Baseball.
that. Pavon.
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 Pavon. Shout out Pavon. But
yeah, baseball's here, baby.
yeah, it's gonna be
Book your tickets.
spring training next
We
week.
in there.
Next week, starting it up. Pitchers
Yeah,
and
for
catchers
sure,
report.
bro. We got to catch a lot of games. We got to catch some Yankee games, some Baltimore games, some Mets games, some Philly
It's
games.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be
We
boss.
in for a fun summer.
But
oh my gosh.
to wrap it up,
Spring and summer.
We out, bro.
congratulations to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes for
Congratulations
continuing.
to Brock Purdy.
I just want to say though, Mahomes,
Congrats,
like
McCaffrey. You did it.
out of every
You
athlete,
took him there.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's like Mahomes has shit on all of us more than any other athlete. Like,
yeah, for sure.
we have literally said like they're losing this game, whether it was the Ravens, whether it was the Eagles in the Super Bowl, whether it was the Niners in the Super Bowl. This man just continues to just rip our takes. Honestly, I mean, you called the Chiefs, I'll give you that, but
He's
he
in a class
cooks
of
us.
his own, bro.
is he elite or great? Let us know. But
He's elite.
Sway,
Not that he's better than elite, but it's up and it's stuck. See you on the next one.
Steve.
Scoot.